Hi! Today I'm going to be making a delicious looking s'mores cake I saw on Reddit, uploaded by someone named nothanksohokay. Now they got the recipe from a couple different sources. For the graham cracker crust, they got it on allrecipes.com, uploaded by someone named Carol. The chocolate part, they got on a website called thepioneerwoman.com. And then they put marshmallows on top to make a delicious s'mores cake. Sounds simple enough, make it with me. Preheat your oven to 375. I'm using glass, so I'm just going to go to 350. Then we need 3 cups worth of crushed graham crackers. Now you can buy them like that or crush them yourself. I'm going to crush mine myself, a little at a time. And just lightly crush them into crumbs. There we go, 3 cups of crushed graham crackers. Now this recipe is doubling the original recipe. Although the one thing we're not doubling is the sugar. You need 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. There's 2 half teaspoons, 1 teaspoon. A 1/3 cup of sugar, which is the only thing not being doubled. And I'd mix these together first before we add our butter. Just lightly, because you really want to make sure the ground cinnamon and sugar gets everywhere. Now you need 12 tablespoons of melted butter. Mine wasn't completely melted, but it was close enough. Now mix all that together. Now take your 9x13 dish and lightly spread out your mixed graham cracker mixture into it. Now the reason that this looks like too much is because it is too much. nothanksohokay used half a sheet cake pan, which is actually about 2 9x13s. So I got a second one out, and now I'm going to evenly spread the crust between them and then flatten it out. Okay, press it nice and firm. Clean up the sides of your pan. Now put both of these into the oven for 7 minutes. While your graham cracker crust is baking, take a pretty large saucepan, put it over medium heat, and begin to melt 2 sticks of salted butter. And I almost always cook with unsalted, so make sure you're using salted for once. 2 sticks salted butter. While the butter's melting, put a little saucepan over high heat and pour 1 cup of water into it. And bring this cup of water to a boil. It's been 7 minutes, so now remove your pie crusts and store them in a safe spot. And keep the oven on, you're going to need it later. Now that your butter is melted, add 4 heaping tablespoons, so pretty big, don't flatten them off, 2, 3 of cocoa powder. 4 heaping tablespoons of cocoa powder. Okay, now stir that in there. Then pour in your 1 cup of boiling water. And let this boil for 30 seconds. Once it's bubbled for 30 seconds, turn off the heat and set it aside into a nice and cool area. Now in a large mixing bowl, you need 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now mix all those together. Then you need to pour in your melted butter, cocoa powder, and water mixture. And mix that in thoroughly. Stir these just until mixed. So don't over stir them. Just get all the flour and stir them to make it disappear. Now in a measuring cup, pour half a cup of buttermilk. Now to the buttermilk, add 2 beaten eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla, and a teaspoon of baking soda. Now stir all those together lightly. Now pour the buttermilk mixture into the chocolate and butter mixture. Okay, now mix these together. Now that our batter is mixed, pour it onto your half sheet cake pan, or if you have 2 9x13s like me, spread it evenly between them. Bring your oven down to 350 degrees, or in my case, 325, because I'm using glass. Once again, get your containers into the oven and bake for 20 minutes or until the cake is solidified, so a toothpick will come out clean. For this recipe, you need a half a cup of diced pecans. I'm going to go with a little bit less, but just take them and chop them into tiny little pieces. Now in a large saucepan over medium heat, once again, we need to melt butter. But this time, instead of 2 sticks of salted, we're going to use 1 3/4 of unsalted. So not 2, not 1 1/2, but 1 3/4. And let those melt. Now that the butter is melted, add 4 heaping tablespoons of cocoa powder. The Pioneer woman really likes her heaping tablespoons. 3 and 4. Now thoroughly mix that together. I'm going to mix it a little more thoroughly than last time. Okay, and she said allow it to bubble for 30 seconds. So mine's bubbling slightly, so I'm going to give it 30 seconds. Then turn off the heat. Keep stirring it, turn off the heat. Now you're going to need 6 tablespoons of milk. And I'm using whole milk. So 1, that was a little more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going light on the last ones because I did a little more on the first 2. Okay, 6 tablespoons of milk. Then add a teaspoon of vanilla. Then you need 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. So there's 1 cup. And there's 1/2 cup. And stir that in. It'll start to clump together at this point. Last but not least, you can add your diced up pecans. Unless you don't like them, then don't add them. This is your recipe now. The cakes have taken closer to ½ an hour, but I've been checking them with a toothpick, and they're finally just now starting to dry up a little bit. So take them out and set them on top of your oven or in a nice spot where they can cool slightly. But now, spread your icing over each cake and move your pan as you spread it so that it doesn't take much effort to spread out later. And again, I'm splitting it between my 2 containers. Now set your oven to broil. No Thanks Okay used 2 bags of mini marshmallows. I only have 1, so it won't be as densely packed. But that's okay. Just spread them as evenly as you can. Honestly, it's still looking pretty good to me. Now that your oven has reached its heat with the broil, it's done preheating, you'll notice the top is glowing red. That's what a broil is. It means the top of your oven is working way harder than the bottom. That's how you roast things on top usually. So get these in your oven and keep an eye on them. They're gonna turn brown really quick on top. Literally, it has not even been a minute for me. But I like the brownness they're at. So pull them out. Yeah, see, mine are even starting to burn a little. Pull them out, set them on your oven, turn your broil off. Ooh, those look good though, don't they? Toasted marshmallows are the best. I got a plate of my s'mores mixture, making sure I get a little bit of cake, a little bit of icing. Of course, I want a marshmallow. Oh yeah. You know, it is funny. This definitely tastes like a s'more, but then also because of the cake, at first you kind of feel like you're eating a cake and you're like, oh, this is a good chocolate cake. But then it hits you with that s'more flavor. Super delicious, super easy to make. I mean, mine's crumbling apart even, but it still tastes delicious. So please, if you like this video, subscribe. A few simple steps and you can make amazingly delicious things. Impress your friends and family. Thanks for watching.